Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and thank you very much for stopping by. We've had a pretty busy time recently. I've had three different folks from Retirement Wave, either the YouTube channel or the website or both. I don't actually ask. I know it's one or the other or both of them. They have been in looking for properties in Panama City under the Metro Match plan that we have, where I put them together with somebody I think will do the best possible job to help them get a good place, what they want at their price level and so forth. All three of them seem to be buzzing along reasonably well. One of them, knock on wood, is pretty much near the end. I mean, offer's been accepted. They're going through the paperwork, and we don't count anything as finished until it's over. But that at least seems to be in good condition. The second one appears that it's going to move forward too. The gentleman had to return to the U.S. and won't be back until October. So that will be all completed and done in October, assuming it continues. Again, knocking on wood, as the old saying goes. But no, I mean, he seems he's lived here before. He knows his way around, so he knows Panama City. The third one is coming back in a couple weeks and introduce his wife to the city. He hadn't been here for a decade, and needless to say, it's changed a lot, he's discovered. And she's really excited about the whole thing. So they're coming down to continue looking. They'll be down a couple of times in the next couple of months, and we'll see. One step at a time with them, as they have not yet made the ultimate decision, but we're moving in that direction. The important thing is, regardless of whether anybody buys anything, is the fact that all three of them apparently are satisfied with the service they get. It's very important to me. I always ask them, how are things going? And everybody seems quite satisfied, and that's the important thing, that they're getting what they need. And that can take time. Some folks have needs that require more time. Or in some cases, maybe nothing can be done, but we haven't run into one of those yet. So I'm pleased with it. It's sort of a risk that it can be too time consuming. I only work with people I have actually worked with myself. People I've had a financial arrangement with, who I've paid my services or I've purchased their services, or one or another, we've had a professional connection of some sort here in Panama. And in one case particularly, I've known him for over a decade. The other, I've known her for about 2 years, a year and a half maybe. And these are people who I think are really good. They've done well by me. So I trust them. And I think the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. The proof is in the fact that we do have satisfied people. I'm pleased with that. But it's a very limited crowd to hang from or to choose from. But that's the way it is. As I don't want to use anybody that I don't feel completely comfortable with. I know a lot of real estate agents who are fine people. Maybe one or two others that I might use were necessary. But I'm very fussy. I'd rather be fussy and say, I'm sorry, we don't have anybody to work with you, than to just hand people over to any real estate agent. In any case, I mean, if anyone's uncomfortable with the fact that the people I've worked with or will be working with in the future, one thing or another, I'm sorry, but that's the way it has to be in order for me to know who I'm working with. And you always can find real estate agents here easily. Just walk down the street and you'll find some. So in any event, I'm not worried about that. We're proceeding onward, and maybe I'll let you know how it goes. This is their private information. I'm not going to be sharing any of that, none of the details. But it's just the general, because the best part about it is all three of them have had different goals, looking for different types of properties in different parts of the city at different price points. Now, that's pretty good. And it just, it's been a challenge, but it's reminding me, too. I appreciate hearing about this separately. Some of them I'm more involved with than others, depending on what their needs are. But I'm relearning, so to speak, what people go through and what needs to be done and how best to help them. It's been a good experience, and I'm happy to be able to offer it. So if the day comes when you're interested in buying or renting a property in Panama City, we're here to help. If you need it, you want it. If not, so be it. And that will last as long as I feel that it's a real service and that we have gotten through this particular period. which is, as you may be hearing for the first time, I have people who've seen 50 of my videos. I have over 100, and others who this is their first video. But I do encourage people that prices right now are soft, very definitely. This is a buyer's market in Panama City, and the evidence is very clear. It's true, very much true up the coast and there. It's not necessarily time to buy if you're not planning to live here or to make good use of it or whatever. We're not trying to promote any sort of land rush. That's silly. But prices are lower than they have been in a long time, and people are willing to negotiate to a point. They're not desperate. We're not, it's not the end of the world, but they are definitely willing to negotiate. And the prices are lower than they were, say, 2, 3, 4 years ago, definitely. So it is a good time to come down. And having that situation and wanting people to be with good agents and who aren't just trying to push them up to more and more expensive places because the commission's higher or something like that, but who aren't agents who aren't really listening, doing more talking and too little listening, then we're here to help. As time goes by and things improve, there'll be so much activity, so many different people down here. Prices will be wherever they're going to be, and I will step back from the whole affair. I see it as a temporary effort over the next, year or so. I don't know how long, 6 months. I do know that our indicator of consumer confidence has jumped a lot since the election and the inauguration of a new administration. Now, that's not uncommon in a lot of democracies where the new administration takes office, that approval ratings are high, that people have a positive outlook. In this instance, the last administration, let's face it, had some serious problems in this last year or two and did not look good, and people were ready for the change. So it may be a little bit more powerful jump than has been true in the past, but in any event, it's a good thing to have, regardless of who is taking office. It's not a party or a partisan affair. It's just people are positive, and that's a good thing for the future. That has to continually be earned every single day by this administration, so it doesn't mean it lasts for a long time. But I have, as I've mentioned in other videos, been very impressed with how rapidly everybody worked when they got in after the inauguration and discovered some of the financial, not mistakes, basically the monies that were promised to be spent were shoved into the end of the year after the change in government. And we did not have the full facts. And we would realize the government was getting itself into, for us, a major deficit situation. It would not impress the people in the United States or Europe who can run deficits much higher. But it's still too high by our standards here, very much so. And how rapidly all the parties got together, everybody got together, they sat down, they worked it out. As I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, they got the money, they borrowed it at very good interest rates because we have excellent credit rating, and they are seeing that things are getting taken care of. They did this in just a matter of a couple of weeks, deadly serious about the whole thing. We all know it's been discussed. It was no energy is wasted on blaming people at this stage. It was, we've got to get this taken care of, and they did. I had been talking to an analyst for a major bank in New York City who specializes in this part of Latin America, and he was very concerned. This is before the election. He said, Bob, the numbers just don't seem to add up, and I'm suspicious. There's something is wrong here. And he said, this is not good. We don't like to see this sort of thing. Well, he was right. And the people coming in, and the rest of, regardless of their political party background, recognize that. And so, bam, they got right together and they did it. Then a delegation went right up to New York, sat down with the ratings agencies and with the investment groups and so forth, and said, here it is. Here's the whole story. This is what we're doing about it. It was very well received. And that's good. The fact that our system here, our folks, can get together and get something done that needs to be done quickly is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have happen. It isn't always that easy in a lot of countries where it seems that they never can agree and get anything done. So that's where we are with that, and that is the first step to in recovering our confidence in our real estate program too. But that's just the beginning. There's more yet to be done on that. I have a couple more relatively small things to share with you, but they're reflective of what's going on in the city and the nation, the sorts of things that are being done now that will have future impact. One of them, as you can see here, is a picture of a green bus. It's a totally electric bus. It's one of two that the city is now running on regular routes on a regular basis for some weeks to see how well they hold up and how well they function and so forth, if they meet the specifications and so on, and whether or not we want to use more of them in the future. So we have quite a nice set of buses right now, but they're all gasoline driven, and they do pollute, obviously. But on the other hand, we want to make sure whoever replaces them is a better deal across the board, environmentally and in every other aspect. So that's underway. The other is a bridge. That's a little bit larger thing. We have currently 3 bridges across the Panama Canal. Now, 2 of them are down here at the Pacific end of the canal. The old Bridge of the Americas, it's been there for a long time. The second bridge here, very nice bridge, is nonetheless, it's been about 15 years now since it was inaugurated and started to function, really functioned a year or 2 after that. It's fine. We have a third bridge, which is very recent, just in the last few months, has been completed on the Atlantic end. And we needed it, even though there's very few people comparatively living on the other side of the canal at that point. That doesn't mean they're not there, and boats only do so much, ferries only do so much. So we had to have that done. It's been done. It was a very big bridge of its kind, and I don't remember exactly what it means. It's a concrete bridge. It has certain distance between spans and everything, but of its kind, it's the largest in the world. So that's pretty impressive. I haven't been up to see it yet. It's a big bridge. The fourth one is going to be here at this end. We have a massive number of people who live on the other side of the canal who come in to work in Panama City every day. And they really need the help, and not just on the roads. So this is an artist's rendering of what we are building, along with the 6 lanes for automobiles, will be lanes for the 2-way lanes, for 2 one-way lanes, there we go, for the metro trains. Now that's very, very, very important to get the metro over there. This is the 3rd line. This is just getting started. They insist they're going to get this bridge underway first, and that will be this year. Others are skeptical. We think it'll slide into next. We'll see. Not a big deal. It will be whatever it is. But the key point is that getting that subway over, because this is going to have a huge impact for people to get in and out of the city and reduce. In that sense, that will finally actually reduce congestion on the highway. If anything does, will be to get that underway and going. Sometimes if you build more highways, you just encourage more cars, but you use a metro system. It actually does mean those people are not using cars. So this is important. And it's starting soon. So it's going to be a beautiful bridge. And we have beautiful bridges. I have to say that very much so. So these are things that are coming down the road along with everything else. I'll talk more about them in the future and some of the other things that are going on here. And I really think that the end result of it is going to be quite impressive. But for getting here to there is the challenge. It's always a challenge everywhere in the world. And so it's a journey that we're all on here. And it's fun. And I hope, if you've never been here, that you have the opportunity someday to come down and visit us. If you like these videos, they're very informal. I just do them in my own apartment. Feel free to subscribe. Just click on the button and click on the little bell beside it, and they say they will send you an immediate announcement in the event of a new video going out, which only comes out about every 2 weeks. So you're not going to get flooded with them. I try to put out a little more than I have in the past, though. So I do my best when I can fit it in. And I am so pleased to have people like you at the other end, watching, listening, and communicating. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great remainder of the week ahead of you, wherever you may be, and that you enjoy every minute of it. See you later.